At the legislature, we continue to work on bills that we will introduce when we go back into session on February 17. Many of those, particularly one introduced by Senator Champion and Representative Long, will focus on expanding our ability to hold ICE accountable. And we continue to work with schools and hospitals to update policies around how ICE can be in those areas and where they cannot be in order to make sure we're keeping our students safe, our teachers safe, and our patients, doctors, and healthcare workers safe. So those are some of the updates we have. If you're interested in more resources, you can also Google DFL immigration resources, and that should also come up too with some of the latest resources coming out of DFL legislators from the State House. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Representative Agbaje. Many of us were on the ground in your district that day, and we know how harrowing it was. So we send a lot of love to the North Side in this time. Next, I want to go to School Board Member Colin Beachy, as there has been a lot of impact across schools in Minneapolis, but also throughout the state. School Board Member.
Yes, good afternoon, everyone. This is Colin Beachy. I'm the chair of the school board. And as Chair Chowdhury mentioned, this has affected our schools. Because of what happened last week, we had to shut down for 2 days. And starting on Monday, our high schoolers were able to start going back to school with an online learning option. And that option was extended to our elementary schools starting on Tuesday. Something that I would recommend for anybody who has any specific questions about what that looks like is to have parents reach out to their specific school. It's going to look different at every different school. It just depends on how many people each school are deciding to enroll in the online option. Most of the high schoolers are unfortunately familiar with this because of COVID, and so they're back onto the Google Classroom and they know how to kind of navigate through that. Their teachers are keeping them updated and they're following their normal, regular schedule that they would follow. We have some updates on some food distribution that's going on. To be honest with you, I can't comment on the specifics of that right now because I haven't had a chance to read the email yet. But I did see that something came out with an update, and we're working on making sure that those students who don't feel safe and comfortable coming to the schools are able to get their meals on a regular basis. In terms of what's going on campuses here right now, we have no reports of ICE being on any of our campuses, but we have reports of the sightings near the campuses and around the campuses. And so there's some clear protocols that on that Friday when everyone was out, where we sat down, the principal sat down with every one of their teachers and staff, and they all went over and created their own. We reiterated what the original plan was, but then each school was able to make sure that they took whatever extra measures that they needed to keep their children safe. And so, like I said, as of this point, we have not heard any ICE agents on our school campuses. My concern, though, is that I'm hearing things happening at and near charter schools. And so we're monitoring that, we're keeping updated on that, and we're also working in partnership with our charter schools as well. This affects all of our children, and this is something that I'm proud about Minneapolis. You know, it's with the election season that just went over. It's like, you know, sometimes families fight and we get at each other, but right now someone's coming at the outside, and we are all standing here strong together. And I just am so immensely proud of my city right now through everything that's going on. I just am so proud of what everyone is doing. I know that there are things that they're in the communities near the schools, the families who are around, their community volunteers are doing things to make sure that at pickup time, at the start of school, at the end of school, that there are people who are watching and making sure that our kids are being safe. The final thing that I'd like to talk about just briefly is that, as I mentioned at the press conference on Wednesday, the board has unanimously supports the lawsuit that is going on with the state of Minnesota and the city of Minneapolis. You know, this is causing significant trauma to our kids. I mean, we all know this, and it's going to take some time for this to be undone. Those people who are the most vulnerable in our schools, and so we're working hard with our counselors and the EMSS team to make sure that everyone is safe on the physical side, as well as whatever counseling needs that they need. And so I just again strongly encourage anyone, if you have some questions, I would not want to have you calling the schools yourselves. I would make sure that you will have the parents, though, if they have those questions, to redirect them to call their specific school directly for any questions that they have. And I'm just going to finish by finishing what I said at the other day. As behalf of Minneapolis Public Schools, we are with you. We are with all of you. We are your family. We are your friends, and we stand by all of you. And I just am so appreciative of what all of you are doing for our children. I can't thank you all enough. Thank you.
Thank you. That was School Board Chair Colin Beachy. Um, for any parents watching, the best thing to do right now is get connected with your school site to figure out what the need is there. Many school sites are supporting families and have different asks for parents and educators at this time. Next, I will go to Senator Doran Clark.
Hi, all. I am the proud senator of Cedar Riverside, Northeast Minneapolis, University of Minnesota, and Southeast Minneapolis. Representative Agbaje shared a lot of the resources and some of the policy pieces that we're working through here at the Minnesota Capitol to advance, really through policy and other actions, how to make sure ICE does not exceed their bounds and to push ICE out of Minneapolis. That's what the community is doing right now as well. And I'm so proud of the work that, well, community steps up and is doing. Just yesterday, one of our high schools, they staged a walkout, and I have never seen our Parent-Teacher Association so engaged and working so hard to ensure that our students, well, they were peaceful, they were loud, and they were able to share their voice to say, ICE out of Minneapolis. The patrols and the groups that have sprung up around our schools and around our neighborhoods, as one mom said, it's all us wine moms. We're getting together. And even more importantly, my husband has made his first friend since kindergarten. Minnesotans, we sometimes find our friends early in life, and, well, that's who we stick with the rest of life. We're making new friends. We're making new connections. And that is what I'm so proud of seeing over and over and over again. Because it's when ICE shows up to places like Pillar Forum at 23rd and, well, shows up next to places like Pillar Forum at 23rd and Central, the kids pile out of there, the young adults, the 20-year-olds pile out and blow their whistles at the ICE officers. And in turn, on Sunday night, ICE sprayed those attendees with pepper spray and mace. Well, ICE grabbed two people at the supermarket next door then. And sort of the kicker to the whole thing and showing how willy-nilly the grabbing is, 25 minutes later, ICE was back and dropped off one of the people that they grabbed. We're seeing this all over. We're seeing oversteps all over. In North Minneapolis, a man who has been checking in with ICE and immigration consistently now for 18 years, working through the process, and in fact had been at Whipple just days before. Well, ICE broke down his front door, dragged him out, and a judge ordered him released again last night. This is not targeted. This is just grabbing people off the street. This is not something that is acceptable, and we need to make sure we're saying out of Minneapolis and out of Minnesota. So please know that community, we see you. Keep doing what you're doing. Parent-teacher groups, we love it. Keep it up. Thank you. And know that your legislators and your city council members and school board members in your county are doing good work for you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Senator Clark. Next, I will go to my colleague, Councilmember Jason Chavez. He represents the ward where Renee Good was murdered at the hands of ICE, to give us a city update.
Thank you, Councilmember Chaudhary. Jason Chavez here, Ward 9 City Council member. Yesterday, the Minneapolis City Council adopted a resolution urging Governor Walz to enact an eviction moratorium statewide. As a city council, we know that we need to support our neighbors in this moment that is very difficult for many people that are struggling with livability issues. The types of calls that we get on a daily basis is that neighbors are too scared to go to work, but they are. They are driving to work in fear. And what is happening is that ICE begins to follow them and then they get kidnapped. And what we know from our neighbors is that this immigration enforcement that is happening is causing a lot of panic. So when folks are going to work and ICE is stopping them, they are then being kidnapped, sent back to different states, and oftentimes back to a country they have not been to for decades. So what we are asking for is Governor Walz to take action to do a statewide eviction moratorium. We also introduced a notice of intent at the City Council yesterday to begin the process to adopting an ordinance. So we also are taking policy action so that when hopefully Governor Tim Walz declares a state of emergency, we can then enact a citywide eviction moratorium in Minneapolis. It isn't just about elected officials showing up to help our community. It's about elected officials saying, this is my job too. It is our job to step up for our neighbors. It is our job to do exactly what neighbors are doing out on the street and to turn that into policy. So what we are asking for our community members and elected officials across Minneapolis and in this state, no matter who you are, is to pass similar resolutions, to call the governor, to make statements and say that Governor Walz, it is time to stand up for our neighbors. And we are going to continue to doing that because it is more important now than ever to do this. So the City Council is going to be passing an ordinance as well. We urge community members that are hearing this at home to call your elected officials to make sure that they support this. And we're also urging all levels of government to push, because if neighbors are going outside during this time, they are very vulnerable to deportations. And it is important that we can make it easier for people to shelter in place.
Thank you so much, Councilmember Chavez, for that update. Next, we will go to Hennepin County. Today, we have Director of Public Health, Sarah Holly.
Thank you, Councilmember Chowdhury. I am Sarah Holly, the Hennepin County Public Health Director. I'm also the lead for Hennepin County's Operation Reconnect. On January 13th, the Hennepin County Board approved a board action directing county administration to launch a structure response to Operation Metro Surge and its impact on our community. In response to Operation Metro Surge, Hennepin County is launching Operation Reconnect. This is a coordinated strategy designed to support residents and strengthen community trust and engagement amid federal enforcement impacts in our community. This initiative will strengthen collaboration among county leadership and service delivery teams to ensure that services remain accessible to all residents in our county. Our goal is to ensure that all Hennepin County residents have equitable access to essential services by upholding inclusive and equitable practices and removing barriers to services, regardless of citizenship status. Our commitment here in Hennepin County is unchanged. Hennepin County serves all residents. Hennepin County recently launched a website for the county's federal response to Operation Metro Surge. There are many resources, community, on this site to help people connect to county resources. The goal of Operation Reconnect is for the county to also reach deeply into our communities and connect people and reconnect people back to resources. This website is located, as I mentioned, on the Hennepin County website. It is www.hennepin.us/residents/emergencies and /county federal response. Of course, you can also Google the county federal response website, but there are many resources there, community, related to food supports, financial assistance, and how you get in touch with county resources. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Next, we will go to our last official to give an update. This is Park Board Commissioner Kay Carvajal Moran.
Hi, everyone. Thank you, Councilmember Irene, and thank you to all my colleagues in the call and all the work and community as well that have been on the ground since day one. We genuinely appreciate all the work that is being done and continues to be done. From the Park Board, we have unanimously passed a resolution. I do want to thank Commissioner Engelhardt for his leadership in bringing this forward, as well Commissioner Deshpande This resolution and the intent of it is to be in alignment with the city separation ordinance. And so as a result, this resolution includes for signage to be posted at the park's parking lot, stating that staging is not allowed. Training is also being developed for our park staff that are frontline and do other work as well. I also do want to let community know that Parks now has an email to report if federal agents are staging at our parks. That email is immigration mprb legal at minneapolisparks.org. I would recommend community to use the salute format. That being said, that a lot of us are sending communication that way, and a lot of community is most familiar with that. I would also include to please, in that communication, include your commissioner that represents your park. I do want to bring an update on how federal agents are using our parks. This past Wednesday, I received a notification from Pearl Park that there was someone that was abducted at our parking lots. And so, unfortunately, there was parents that were dropping off young children. There was rec programming happening during this time, and parents were bringing in their children. If it wasn't for community, this would have escalated. Staff shared that these federal agents had weapons and that they had also pepper spray, and so every situation that there is, these agents are ready to escalate. And so I just want to thank our community, our staff, our frontline workers for supporting our young people. It is very unfortunate that our third pace spaces in parks are not safe for our young ones. I also checked with another parks where they mentioned that our youth are no longer attending programming, and so our programming is being empty. And as a youth worker, this is really frustrating because there is impacts to their well-being, and it's so important that our young people do have those spaces. That being said, as a commissioner and my fellow commissioners, we are committed to this work, and we're committed to being on the ground, checking in with staff to see how we can continue improving and making sure that our parks are responsive to what is going on. I echo everyone on this call. I want to thank our young ones, our educators, our elected officials. I think that overall we got to continue as elected officials. We do have the responsibility of showing up on the ground, so we can advocate for policies to fight back and to continue advocating for our community. So I just want to thank you all for the space and solidarity. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Commissioner, and thank you everyone for joining this first Metro officials ICE Out report. Our plan is to continue this. We, as elected officials and public servants, know that the core of our job is to represent our communities and advocate for you. That means we need to share out real-time information, and also we need to find ways to take action in this moment and navigate this ICE occupation that is harming our immigrant neighbors and then also harming community members that are doing constitutional observing and documenting. And we want to use every tool in our toolbox to address it. Our next briefing will be Wednesday, January 21st at noon. I ask everyone to tune in there. Please like, subscribe, follow. We ask that you share this out in your neighborhood networks so more community members can join and get these real-time updates. And for now, thank you for joining us. Please stay safe and do not hesitate to reach out to any of your representatives.